Alright, welcome everybody to a new mixing series. This new mixing series is going to be mixing electronic music. So, the song that we're going to be looking at is a song called Night and Day that one of my subscribers actually sent to me to mix for them. And I think it's a pretty neat song. It's a slower electronic song, so I wouldn't really call it dance music, but it definitely is electronic driven. And this first video is going to be sort of an overview of the choices that I made and some of the processing that I do throughout this mix, some of the things I liked about the song and some of the things I didn't. And I will actually go ahead and play the finished song for you right here from the get-go on the very first video. So, excuse me. Some of the things that I liked was his choice of instrumentation. The synths that he used were pretty cool. I liked his bass line that he put in there. It's not your standard type of bass line, but it's really, really cool. You could see all these blue tracks are like synth sounds, and there's quite a few of them. But I really like the way that he arranged them. It's not like he's throwing the whole kitchen sink at you all at once. Um, as you can see, some of the things were kind of off balanced a little bit, so I went in and tweaked that a little bit. Um, when he originally sent me the song, he told me that he wasn't happy with his vocal, but I really liked the sound of his voice. I thought that it fit the song well. Um, and yeah, I really didn't think that it was bad at all. So as far as processing, you're going to see a lot of my usual suspects here, which is, of course, the Slate Digital stuff, the virtual tape machine and virtual mix rack. See, that's on pretty much every single track with some extra stuff thrown in there once in a while. And then there is some effects, which I'll do a whole video on that later on down the road. Um, Actually, there's a lot of effects on this one. And the reason for that is because I really wanted to make a sense of width and depth with this song, because it's really sort of an ambient type of song, and I wanted to recreate that with the sound, other than just the arrangement and everything like that. So we'll go ahead and as far as plugins, we'll just look at the Mixbus for now, because I don't really think that I need to do a whole video on that, because it's pretty much my usual chain. So as you can see, virtual console with a little bit of EQ, cutting out the low mids, adding some low end, rolling off the sub lows, and adding some of the bigness in with the custom lift. I'm using the FG red on this mix for the compression. Everything else is just there for the tone. So I really wanted the transformer sound of this FG gray and the tube sound of this FG mu. But the compression is actually happening here with the FG red. And just my usual, slow attack, fast release, 2-to-1 ratio, adding some drive. The low end was kind of hitting the compression pretty hard, so I rolled that out with the sidechain filter. Virtual tape machine, 15 inches per second, but I think, okay, I was going to say I think I adjust the bass alignment, but maybe I liked the sound of the bass boost. This has been a couple weeks since I mixed this, and I hit it pretty hard because I wanted it to peak at around 0. So 15 inches per second, old tape type, and that's pretty much all there is to see there. I used, like I said, I really wanted to have a good stereo image on this, and I really wanted to have a sense of width and depth. You can see that there's a little bit of an image going on here, and there is a little bit of sound on the meter. That's a little bit of noise from the analog processing plugins, but you could see it's below minus 60 dB, and to me that's fine. I really don't care about that. So what I did was I monoed out the bass, I narrowed out the low mids, and then added some width to the upper mids and the highs. So just like I said, getting a sense of imaging and width and depth. And then of course, to make it loud, I used FGX. And if you've watched my videos, you know that this is pretty much what I always use. Sometimes I'll use like the L2 from Waves, but I'd say 99.9% of the time I use FGX. So yeah, like I said, I really wanted a sense of imaging. Some of the things I liked were the synths and the vocals. Couple of things that I didn't like actually were the cymbal sounds. So like the hats and the crash. And after I told that to him, he did tell me like, yeah, I could have worked on that a little bit more. But there's nothing I could have really done about that. I mean, I could have replaced it with my own samples, but he didn't really care much to have that done. So, you know, I just kept it in there. And I think your average listener wouldn't be like, man, I don't like that crash sound, or I don't like that hi-hat sound. But for people like us, or anybody who's watching this video, I'm sure you're going to hear that sound and be like, maybe I would have used a different sample for the hi-hats or the crash. So that being said, that was really the only thing that I didn't like about this track. This isn't what I usually listen to, but yeah, I thought it was a good song. And I know that over in the European regions, this would be something that they would really enjoy over there, because I know that electronic music is very, very big over there, as it is becoming over here too in the US. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about it a little bit more at the end.
If you wanted me to cry, if you wanted me to feel alone and sad and scared, then I made your day. If you wanted me to fall as hard as possible, going down, 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 then I made your day. I love with all my feelings. I love with all my thoughts, night and day. All these nights and days, night and day, with my heart in shame, night and day. All these nights and days, night and day, with my life on hold. If you think you have me beat, if you think I'm down for good, then I will disappoint you, 'cause I will rise again. If you think I can't survive without you in my life, then I will disappoint you, 'cause I will rise again. I love with all my feelings. I love with all my thoughts, night and day. All these nights and days, night and day, with my heart in shame, night and day. All these nights and days, night and day, with my life on hold. Night and day, 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 night and day. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. I'm sure you see something. Call home.
Okay, so first off, I would like to apologize. We did have a little bit of an audio dropout there. The first time that's happened in one of my videos out of all, like, I think it's like 85 videos now. First time I've ever had an audio dropout in a video. So I apologize about that. I heard my fans ramp up. It sounds like maybe I forgot to turn off my antivirus or something. And, you know, when you're recording, it gives your CPU a little bit of a load there. But anyhow, one of the things I want to mention here is a theme that you're going to notice when I go into depth of the processing on the individual tracks is you're going to notice that there's a lot of like distortion plugins. Not necessarily distortion, but like I used a lot of analog emulation plugins. I used a lot of preamp simulations that I actually drove hard. So yeah, like right here, FG76. This is a tube mic pre, and you can see I'm driving it all the way. That's a theme that you're going to notice throughout here. I think you're also going to notice a lot of like, if I remember correctly, I did a lot of low pass filtering, because some of these synth sounds were kind of like stabby or too bright for my liking. I can't remember exactly what tracks I did that on, but for sure there was some tracks where I just, of course, rolled off the low end to get rid of some of that sub, but rolled off the top end too to make room for some other things like cymbal sounds and the air of the vocal and things like that. So that's two things that you're going to notice. I pretty much use distortion and preamp emulation on pretty much everything, whether it be on the group channel or on the individual track or both. So this is just a quick overview. I'm sure the video is not quick. I always say this is going to be quick, but the video ends up being pretty long. But I really try and explain to the fullest. I know I repeat myself sometimes, but bear with me on that. I really try and just go in depth with everything. And I wanted you to hear the whole song start to finish, with all the plugins and everything, because it might be a while before you hear that again. So next time, since I already showed my Mixbus chain, we're going to go ahead and get right into drums and percussion. So thank you so very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. That's okay, you're entitled to your opinion, as I always say. If you really liked it, please subscribe. We're getting close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm feeling good about that. About 300 subscribers away. I'm hoping to hit that before June, but if not, that's okay. This is always just for me to give back to the community, because this type of community is how I learned how to do everything. So I really hope that you guys are learning stuff, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying the content. From the comments that you guys leave, it does seem like you guys are, so I really appreciate that, and it really motivates me to keep on going and to keep on making these videos. If there's anything specific that you want to see, send me a message or a comment, and I'll try and get to it. There are a few things that people have told me they want to see that I do plan to do videos on, but I've been a little bit busy at work. So so far doing series like these have kind of been the way to keep me consistent on here. But I do plan to get to those things. If you guys are watching this and you requested something, I will try and get to those things. I promise. Okay, so once again, thank you so very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a wonderful day.